What's up, guys? Today we're bringing you a walk around on a sweet FMAX 212. This one is set up for the Hotshot's dream. A guy that is kind of local to the Northeast Texas area, been in the Hotshot game for a few years, really dialed in, the build that he wanted to best serve the work that he does in Hotshot. This is an FMAX 212, 44 feet long, hydraulic dovetail. So we got a 32-foot deck plus the 12-foot auto-locking hydraulic dove. We're gonna start right here at the front and go over a lot of the options on this one. So it may take a minute because it is loaded, so stay with me. It has the 7x8 deck on the neck for a little added square footage of working space that if you know anything about goosenecks, typically this area is void, right? All it does is hook to the truck. Not a lot of space, not a lot of value there. You add the 7x8 deck on the neck, you can put tarps, accessories, you can put attachments for different pieces of equipment, all kinds of stuff up on the deck on the neck. You got the rubber on stake pockets on each side to be able to tie down. Just added value. Turns 44 foot into what, another 7 feet, 44 plus 7, 53 foot of working space there. Is that right? 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. 50, I don't know, Texas math, but it gives you more working space. Got the solar panel up front, helps keep the battery charged that runs the jacks and the hydraulic dovetail. He does have, like I mentioned, the hydraulic jacks. The cool thing about these, makes unhooking and hooking a trailer like this so much easier. If you ever do it, you'll never use regular jacks again, trust me. They use the same pump as the hydraulic dovetail, so you have this, oh man, must be in the box. Handy dandy wireless control that you can actually run it up and down with. Looking on the back of the neck, you have the LED work lights, where if you work before the sun comes up or after the sun goes down, it lights up the deck of the trailer, or you can rotate them out to the side to where you can have illuminated workspace all around the trailer. You can see in the factory winch tray, they have a 17,500 pound Warrior winch in the neck, be able to load down equipment, vehicles that aren't running, things like that, all kinds of things that you can do with a winch. It's a recovery deal. You never know. Like, it's one of those things, you'll be glad you have it because you get in a position and you don't, and then you got to call the wrecker, you got to do all these things. A winch is great to have. Right below the winch is a locking chain rack where he can actually hang the chains that he uses to tie down equipment and then be able to lock it on the top. Comes with the pins. You can replace those and put a padlock there to keep them from being able to be lifted. You got a catch can on the bottom where the chains kind of hang down in it. You can see the deck is something special. It's blackwood, which is a treated lumber product with rubber infused into the center of it for traction. It's really cool. When you haul such a variety of different equipment and vehicles, you always want to make sure you have traction, no matter if it's big tire, small tire, wide tire, narrow tire, all that. Definitely the blackwood helps. Have added underslung storage. These are just wide open for straps, maybe a bottle jack, anything you can imagine that you may need on the side of the road. You got your impacts, all that kind of stuff you can put in there and lock out of the way. Moving down, this box is loaded with all the goods. This one is basically your powerhouse. Starting on the left side, we got the 5-amp battery charger where you can plug in an extension cord, keeps your dual batteries hot. We run dual batteries on an air ride for the redundancy. You never want to run out of voltage or out of battery, with an air ride, especially when you got hydraulic jacks. So the dual batteries definitely help. On this one, he opted for the Trojan upgrade, which just upgrades the deep cycleness of the batteries. They're going to run longer, have a little more reserve. Right here on the left is the air ride control system. It's unique. We partnered with Cush a couple of years ago and really packed in a ton of features into this air ride system to make sure the user had the information they needed from the gauges, and then also had the functionality that would best serve the Hotshot world. So you have a lift axle standard, where if you're running lightly loaded or empty, you can lift the front axle off the ground. You also have a dump feature where you can dump the air out of the air springs, lower the bed, get a little better load angle with a hydraulic dove or even with max rams. Also, you have a load gauge that helps you reference. You have a chart here that after you get loaded, you can look down and see I have about X amount of pounds on the deck, to where you know that you're not overloading the trailer, or that the load you picked up is about where it should be. Also, a handy feature of the air system, it has an air chuck that's two-way, where you can use the air compressor to be able to air up a tire, or you can actually air the system up should something happen and it go dead. You can actually go the other way with the valve stem and be able to air the system up manually. In the back of it, we have the KTI hydraulic pump, which powers both the jacks and the dovetail off the same pump. And then also, this is your brake pump that fires the electric over hydraulic disc brakes that are on the trailer. On this one, he outfitted with the aluminum 17.5 wheel and tire package. It's a 215 17.5, which is a very high mileage tire. It's a regroovable tire. Definitely when you're running Hotshot, getting into that 215 and 235 17.5 tire is a no-brainer, because you have less blowouts, they're more puncture resistance, and again, the tread wear is going to last a whole lot longer. You can see this one's also on a 72-inch spread. So you've noticed going down the road, the semi-trailers, they have these huge spreads. Well, there's a reason for that, and it's for weight distribution. And when you get into these trailers, especially 38, 40, 44 feet long like this, you definitely benefit from having the axle spread, because it takes some of that extreme load or tongue weight off of the tow vehicle and makes the trailer do more of the work. So the 72-inch spread is key on this trailer being so long. We get back here to the 12-foot auto-locking hydraulic dove that I talked about earlier. So it is 12 feet long, rated to carry and lift 10,000 pounds, distributed the length of the dovetail. Most of our other competitors, they have some funky rules around, oh, it'll lift this much, but you can only carry this much, and that's all hogwash. It's 10,000 pounds, lift and carry, distributed the length of the dove. It's just one of those things, like, don't be crazy and put 8,000 in the last 2 feet. Make sure that it's distributed the length of the dove. You have a skid steer, 8,000 pound skid steer in this area of the dove, it'll carry it just fine. You got your hauling hay, you make sure that weight is distributed the length of the dove, and you're good. Picking back up on the passenger side of the trailer, you'll notice all the way down the side, besides where this box is, we have the slide track with the 4-inch ratchets. Those come in handy when you're in Hotshot and not knowing really what you're going to be hauling. If it's long material, if it's palleted goods, you can use the 4-inch straps just like a semi-trailer would do to be able to secure it. You got plenty of tie down. Then also a lot of Hotshots will use the rubber on stake pockets with their 2-inch straps or chains as well to tie down equipment. Another underslung 42-inch box for storage. This right here is what we call the dunnage rack. It's 8.5 feet long, great for hauling your 4x4s and different cribbing. You can even put tarps in there, but the dunnage rack is great because it helps you be prepared no matter what you're going to haul. The last thing we'll point out is the fold-away steps. All the Fleet Neck and the FMAX series engineered beam trailers are standard with the fold-out steps. You've all seen those goosenecks rolling down the road that have the steps that are bent back because they went through like a low clearance situation or whatnot, and they're all bent. And so the cool thing is these stow up out of the way so you don't end up being that guy. Jump on DiamondC.com. You can build an FMAX 212 or 216 to fit your needs. All kinds of options for hot shotters. Maybe you're not a hot shotter and you need a gooseneck and you want a shorter one. All the stuff is there. We'll see you on the road. There's that remote I was looking for. This is the wireless remote that comes with the hydraulic dovetail. Makes it super simple. If you're running the hydraulic dovetail, you can do it from the seat of the equipment or the vehicle when you load it. And it also runs the hydraulic jacks that makes hooking up a whole lot easier. You simply just press the button and it raises and lowers the jacks as well as the dovetail.